for people to live.
All right, welcome back. We see Mayor Karen Bass speaking right there at the cleanup of this homeless encampment in Van Nuys. Let's listen in.
Mayor, we're live on Good Day LA right now. What's the process of responding to these homeless encampments? This has been a known issue for years. Why is the action being taken today?
Oh, we've responded to encampments all the time. It took a while to amass the resources to house everybody in this encampment. We rarely encounter encampments as large as this. Am I correct in saying that?
That's right.
So what Anita Kadani does as the head of Inside Safe, it takes her a while to assemble the motel rooms because we try to take people together so that we don't break up the community. Because what we do acknowledge, when you see these encampments, these are communities. So we don't want to separate the people. So we take as many of them as we can into the same motel. When we take them to a motel, a community-based organization takes over, provides 3 meals a day, provides security and social workers so that they can connect with the services they need to get their lives together. In that process, we hope we can move them into permanent housing. But one reality that we have had to face is that they might be in motels for long periods of time. But here is the choice. Do you pay for them to be in motels, or do you allow them to be in squalor, endanger themselves, and endanger everybody else while you work to build a house? We are looking for more cost-effective ways than motels. We have reduced the price this year, and we hope to reduce it even further moving forward. But one thing that I will not tolerate is Angelinos living in dangerous squalor conditions.
Mayor Victor Cordero from Univision, we have major sports events coming to our city.
Exactly.
Is this part of the cleanup process? Tenemos algunos eventos que van a venir a marcar deportivos a nivel mundial. ¿Es esto parte del proceso de limpieza, and how often is going to happen?
This is not because of sporting events happening. On day one of my administration, I declared a state of emergency, and we have been removing encampments and housing people for 2.5 years, and we will continue doing it as long as I sit in the mayor's office.
Question right here to John, and then down in front in the green.
And Mayor, just going to ask you, what's the reality that all of these people, like 75 people, are going to end up in permanent housing, though?
Well, the reality is that we're going to work very hard to make sure that happens. Now, one of the problems that occurs in this process is that the people that are housed, not 100% stay housed, because we have to make improvements in the system, and one of the weaknesses in the system is the services that are provided. I think they need to be far more robust. Our community-based organizations are doing the very best they can, but one of the things I said from the beginning is that we are moving to get people housed at the same time as we're trying to correct the problems that are in the system. Tons of problems. I could spend the rest of the day telling you all of the problems in doing this, but what's most important is we save lives when we get people out of dangerous conditions like this.
Down in front and then to Omar.
What are we going to do to maintain and keep these types of encampments clear from returning?
Well, we have, most of our encampments, not 100%, have been cleared. We maintain them because the Inside Safe team constantly, along with the council offices, constantly does surveillance in the area. And what I would say to Angelinos is if an encampment has been cleared in your neighborhood, the minute you see one tent, let us know. Because what happens is you see one tent and a community begins to form. We want to stop the communities and get them housed before they actually form. So this area, I'm sure, will be gated off, and it will be constantly surveilled to make sure that people do not return.
Last question to Omar.
Since moments unfolded out, we saw a confrontation between some of the residents here as well. How many people were detained here today?
Oh, I don't know.
So I'll take that question. It wasn't with the residents. They were activists that were agitating the help that we were bringing today. There were 3 people who were detained, not arrested. I believe they were released. But the issue was they were impeding the work that we came here to do. And the people inside wanted to come out, and they wanted to get on the bus, and they wanted to get housed. And if they didn't, then all those buses that we sent today would be empty, or those people would still remain here. So they got in the way of progress, and we had to get them out of the way.
What happens sometimes is that if people come along and try to convince people not to get on the bus, not to accept housing, to stay here living in squalor, until we can provide a permanent place for them to live. And my belief is that nobody that does that lives alongside them.
Mayor, what's the message to the...
Okay, just heard Mayor Karen Bass, and impassioned Mayor Karen Bass talking about the cleanup there at the encampment in Van Nuys, the largest encampment, homeless encampment in the San Fernando Valley.
Saying this has been her motivation and her promise since day one when she took office 2.5 years ago. So we'll continue to see her efforts there.